5 seconds. Start. Sir, in order to understand the government's food policy, we have to go back to some years. Soon after the country attained independence and the Congress government assumed power, they realized that the food problem has to be given very serious consideration, and for this purpose they appointed senior most ministers to be in charge of this portfolio. The first minister was our first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He was followed by Shri Jai Ram Das Daulatram and then by Mr. Munshi. All these big ministers could not be very successful as far as food production was concerned. Eventually, Sri Rafi Ahmad Kidwai was put in charge of this portfolio, and his imagination, ability and push proved that this problem was not insoluble, but that if this question could be tackled with imagination and foresight, it could be solved. But it was the misfortune of the country that Sri Kidwai is not with us, and we have fallen into the same position. Now, sir, we rely more and more on statistics than on the realities of the situation. When the first 5-year plan was brought into being, the main emphasis was laid on food production, and quite rightly too. And we had the river valley projects, dams, hydroelectric schemes, community projects, and so on, with a view to increasing food production in the country. Now, if we see the statistics of the various state governments and also of the center about the acreage brought under cultivation, and if we go deep into this matter, we will find that according to the calculations given by the various state governments and the center, the acreage brought under cultivation is many times more than the total cultivable area in India. In spite of that, what have we been seeing? What have been seeing that as far as this food problem is concerned, we are far away from meeting all our requirements. Not only that, but some of the government spokesmen responsible for this matter have been saying that the first 5-year plan had been successful in increasing food production in the country to a very great extent. They were even planning as to how best the extra food could be exported so that we would be able to get our hard pressed foreign exchange more easily. But in fact, the position has been just the reverse after the Congress government assumed power. Then came the first 5-year plan, and we were assured that more food had been produced. And as I said, if we analyze the statistics of the various states and the center, we will find that more acreage has been brought under cultivation than what is actually available in India. The second 5-year plan, of course, lays emphasis on industrialization. Originally, it was estimated that under the second plan, there would be 25% increase in food production. But the Prime Minister insisted that 25% increase was not sufficient and that it should be something like 40%. Last year, at the Food Ministers' Conference at Mussoorie, they wanted more funds in order to ensure 40% increase. But the Prime Minister put his foot down, saying that not a single rupee would be given, but that the 40% increase would have to be achieved. Sir, it is not as if by a magic wand these things were to be achieved easily. Sir, if we examine the various measures taken for this food production, we see that for the grow more food campaigns and the other things, lakhs and lakhs, I should say crores and crores of rupees have been given to the various states. Various amounts have been advanced to them for the purpose of bringing more acreage under cultivation. But all this money has not been properly utilized. And if we go into this question more deeply, we will see that large sums of money were advanced for developing mechanized farming, but that money was spent for other purposes. Similarly, for wells, some money was advanced, but it was not spent for that purpose. Therefore, it is quite natural that the situation in regard to food production should be what it is. Now, what is the present position? We have been told by the Food Ministry that the production has actually increased, and in the statement which the Food Minister made here very clearly, only the average production has been shown. But if we go into the figures of actual production, we will see that actually the food production has been on the decline. Sir, in the month of March, a white paper was issued by the Food Ministry in which the figures of actual production were given, and here I would like to quote a few figures which they had given. If we again see the statistics of the Food Ministry, we will see that availability of food grains per capita does not show any rise, while demand per capita is increasing because the population is growing. Thank you.